no reason. Please just let it go. Let it go, Victor. It is impossible for you to win this war. Watch me.
You gave him everything he wanted, and betrayed your own daughter to do it. So where is he, Mom, huh? Where's Reg? Reg!
Moving speech, really. Almost Shakespearean, wasn't it?
Okay, we are live. Hey, you guys, look, hey, Keish, everybody was in here. I mean, when I switched over, it was so many people in here having conversations. They were ready to go. You hear me?
What were they talking about mainly?
I mean, they were just communicating with each other. There's a couple of folks talking about some Y&R stuff, which, you know what, to me, we're going to get through Bold and Y&R fairly quickly because I know we kind of briefly talked about it earlier this morning when we were on our group chat, but The Young and the Restless has just been an ongoing thing leading up to this Demar thing. And the crazy thing about it, even though they made it look like, oh, you know, June 13th, ain't nothing happened on June 13th.
Miscalculation, I guess, on their part.
Girl, listen, the spoilers are out for The Young and the Restless. And according to what I saw, Dumas is not going to reveal himself into June 20th.
What is that, next Thursday?
Friday.
Yep. Interesting.
Yeah, very. And I'm sitting up here like, you got to be kidding me. So we done waited all this time for Dumas. They gave us a date. And now we still got to wait to the actual episode date of the 20th to this reveal. So I guess we're going to get fun and games and mysteries and mazes and train rides and stuff next week, which is insane.
I haven't read the spoilers, but is Amanda supposed to be on next week?
Yes, so that's the other part of the June 20th episode is not only is Dumas going to reveal himself, but Amanda's connection to him will also be exposed. That's the way the spoiler is written.
Which to me would only mean one thing.
What?
That they're dating. That they're together.
Oh, Lord. And what if...
That's just my guesstimation is that. Just because what else, like what other real connection being exposed could there be other than the two of them are a couple?
I guess, girl. I mean, to me, this whole thing is just insane. And I understand they're trying to build, I don't know, some type of suspense behind this whole thing. But it's just like, just bring them on. It's two storylines that I'm having a problem with. And we're going to get into it. We're about 5 minutes in. And then we're going to just unpack everything. All right?
Okay.
All right, welcome you guys to Soap Corner Talk, where myself, T, and I got Keisha on the line with us. Yes, Keish. Oh, girl, you just got a compliment. Jan said Keisha always makes the best analysis.
Oh, thank you. I try.
You know what? Here's the thing. I know that myself and Bree, we can get into some... we have some good dialogue. I'm not going to take that away from either of us either. You're a very logical person. And I'm logical myself. You know, in the real world, I'm very logical and analytical, you know. But I guess you bring the logic and, that type of stuff when it comes to soap. That's why I have, me, you, sometimes Jay, Bree, because we all have different things that we bring to the chat. I
think it's a good balance.
Yeah, but it is a good balance. It really is. All right, so we're going to be recapping The Young and the Restless, Bold and the Beautiful, and Beyond the Gates for the week of June 9th through June 13th. And normally we do The Young and the Restless first, The Bold and the Beautiful, Beyond the Gates. And then we have our Flip the Script, Who's Taking Several Seats, Star of the Week, Pickle of the Week, and the Simp Olympics this week. So I don't know if we got anybody to actually qualify for that this week. So yeah, nothing really stands out like Michael and Carter used to, but I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. All right.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and jump into this. I know you're on the road. How far is your road trip?
I have exactly 5 hours left.
Ooh, girl.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, I know when I either drive to Minnesota or Kentucky to see my kids, it's about a 6 hour drive each way. And
Mhm.
I'm telling you, by the time I get out that car, I don't want to see another steering wheel for hours.
I know. Total, it's about 7.5 hours total. So yeah, and it's a drive that I've done
Mm-hmm.
many times over the years because this is where my dad lives at. But this will help take my mind off of it.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree. I agree. It'll definitely. You know what? If you're listening to a good podcast, or you're listening to some diet, it takes your mind away from the road, and especially if
Yeah.
it's about 2.5 to 3 hours long, that takes a big chunk out of it. That's why I was saying earlier, like when my son drives here, he'll listen to his crime podcast.
Mhm.
So,
Yep.
it's kind of like what Cat be listening to.
Yeah.
And and so it allows him to kind of burn through that time, and before you know it, half of the trip is already over.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
like a good crime podcast for sure.
Oh, you do? Oh, okay. I
Oh
guess it's
yeah.
becoming more and more popular.
I listen to several.
Oh,
I
good.
had to actually take a break because it was becoming an addiction, and it was like I was staying up at night listening to these podcasts. They're very
Really?
interesting. Hmm.
Wow. Okay. I started listening to one of them. I'm a psychology junkie, how the mind
Hmm.
works and stuff like that. So I was listening to more one similar to why people do what they do. And it was pretty interesting. It definitely gets me through my long drives if I have to go somewhere of a longer distance. So I know what you
Yeah,
mean.
yeah.
All right, you guys, let's go ahead and jump into the Young and the Restless. We had pretty much everybody leading up to Dumas except for the situation of Mariah. Let's talk about her first and get her out the way. So, Mariah is still dragging some secret that we still don't know nothing about that's been going on since I think late April. And we took a break from it, obviously, because they're trying to build up to this Dumas thing, and then they finally brought it back again, and she's still struggling. She don't want to talk to Tessa. She been gaslighting Tessa with little bits and pieces, and then she take off. What do you think about this storyline and the fact, like in the upper left-hand corner, she meets this old Ian lookalike?
Yeah, I'm definitely intrigued by what exactly happened
Okay.
because she told her mom. I think it was last week when she told her mom that a one night stand would be easier than this.
Okay.
And it's like if it wasn't that she cheated on Tessa, then what more could it be?
Yeah, that's the part
Because
I don't
she's like
understand.
really struggling.
I know she is struggling hard. And so I'm like, what did you do? Did you take out
Hmm.
somebody? Did you, I mean, what could it be? And just like the Dumas storyline, are we not going to find out what Tessa, I mean, Mariah did until what, September or something?
You think it's gonna be that long?
Girl, they already took a month out of it because she came in with this storyline like the end of April. And then we didn't hear anything more for about 3-4 weeks, and then they're bringing it back around with her moping and being sad, and we still don't know what's going on. They give us flashbacks of something, but that's it.
I hope they don't take that long.
Girl, I'm just over it. It's like, what did she do? Just say it. If it's not cheating.
Yeah, and the flashback is weird because it gives the impression that she did cheat on her because of the way she was.
Holding
Her
his
and that
hand.
older guy were like, yeah, holding hands, and I think she was like giggling or whatever. She had been drinking. Well, she said she had been drinking, but they show her drinking, and it's like, first of all, who is this guy? And how on earth could she go from who she's married to that guy?
Yeah, I don't
Without being
Yeah, and it's
rude.
just
But
weird. I understand where you're coming from because it's like, writers, what were you thinking? This is a stretch. It just doesn't make
yeah,
sense. I mean, even if she was gonna cheat on Tessa with another woman or another man, why him? Is it
yeah,
because there's some psychological connection to Ian from? But even still, that's kind of dark. And I know dark is one thing, but I don't know. It's just weird to me. I'm not. Just say what you did so we can move on.
right. And the way the guy walked up to her, it seemed as if maybe he was targeting her, or like he had some type of awareness of who she was. I don't know. I just, yeah, I have no guesses as to what on earth happened with Mariah. I don't like, though, the way that she is approaching it with Tessa, because to me, it's not fair for her to shut down and blow her off and be honest with her. She's, she's kind of snapping at Tessa. It's like she's frustrated or annoyed that Tessa keeps asking her what's going on.
Right.
And I think she needs to be honest with her wife.
Right, exactly. She need to tell us something. And here's the thing.
Yeah.
What could be so crazy when Tessa has done some horrible things in her past?
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
it's not like Tessa is squeaky clean that she's going to be like, oh my God, how could you? She got a sketchy background herself. So it's
Right.
like, what are you afraid of telling her? I mean, seriously.
Yeah. I don't know. The only guess I have is, like you said, maybe she took somebody out.
Yeah.
I don't know for what reason, or, I mean, Mariah obviously is not that kind of person, so it was probably an accident if that did happen. But I can't think of anything that would be so horrible if it's not that she cheated, that she just can't talk about.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know. It's just a weird storyline that they pull out of left field. And the thing is,
Yeah.
at the same time, they look like they're trying to build a connection between Daniel and Tessa. What do you think? Do you
Yeah.
think that they got a chemistry to you?
I mean, I do like their scenes together. At first, I thought that. At first, I keep going back and forth with them. So, at first, I thought they were doing, the obvious chem test because maybe they were going to try something with them down the line. And then I got to thinking about it, and it's like, honestly, Daniel has nobody on screen to talk to like that other than Phyllis, because Summer's not there anymore. They took Heather out. His dad isn't there, full time. He has no friends. So then I start looking at it from the standpoint, and the same with Tessa, kind of. I mean, she's got her mother-in-law, but you never really see her with anybody but Mariah.
Exactly.
Or Sharon. So then I thought maybe they were just doing this to give the two of them an additional outlet to talk to, other than Phyllis and other than Mariah and Sharon. But then in today's episode, the way that Phyllis went to Tessa about, can you do me a favor and look out for Daniel while I'm gone? I'm worried. And then the way Daniel described, to his dad that him and Tessa have formed or have become friends or become close. I forget what language he used, but then I started thinking, well, if it was just them trying to give the two of them another friend, I don't feel like they would have had Daniel say that, I guess. And I could be reading too much into it, but it was like they made it a point for Daniel to tell his dad that he and Tessa were friends now.
Right. Yeah,
So,
the
I don't
interesting
know.
thing, though, is that that storyline is running concurrent with what Mariah got going on. Mariah is also on the flip side, which is her wife being distant and everything. Because remember, Daniel was more friends to Mariah than Tessa was. So, I mean, if they're just all going to be friends, why have Mariah in the middle of this on the opposite side of the coin of the same storyline, being distant and everything? So I don't know. Either it seems like they're trying to break those two up, but I don't know if they're also trying to chem test Tessa and Daniel. And they have been chem testing Tessa and Daniel since late last year, because we got that whole scene at Society. Remember?
Yep, I remember that. I mean, it's got all the ingredients of trouble in a marriage and the formation of a new friendship, a new kind of close friendship, because she's also helping Daniel deal with his emotions right now.
Exactly.
So it's like they're setting it up perfectly if that's what they're trying to do.
That's what it seems like to me. I mean, I could be wrong in this whole thing, but to me, with both Mariah and Tessa opposite of each other in their relationship, and then you got Daniel who just lost his girlfriend, but they're getting closer. It's something's going to come out of that, and I don't know if it's more of building a storyline upon putting Daniel and Tessa together or actually building up this Ian thing. But
yeah,
I would rather for them to get away from this Ian thing if they're not going to beat it. But they got a kid in the middle of this too, so.
I'll say this though, at least they're doing something to build up to it. If they do end up, if Tessa maybe ends up cheating, or if they do end up putting them together down the line, even if it doesn't become a situation where Tessa cheats, and maybe her and Mariah just divorce organically because of these issues, and then her and Daniel get together. At least they are building something from it, and it's not one of those things where all of a sudden Tessa and Daniel are attracted to each other out of nowhere.
That makes sense.
We haven't seen them interact for however many months or years, or
right.
At least like a constant interaction.
Right.
So at least they're building that up if they do go that direction.
I agree. That makes sense. Yep. So hopefully we'll figure out, or they'll clear this up. I don't know if it's something that they're going to clear up next week, because we're going to be entrenched in this whole Dumas thing over in Nice. I think there is. I did see the spoilers. Let me see. Because there is, like, on Wednesday, we get back to some stuff in Genoa City on the 18th. But outside of that Wednesday, we're back. We're going to be in Nice with this whole thing with Dumas.
Okay.
Let's move on. So, the other thing that we had going on is this trap. So, obviously, Audra is trying to get her next installment. However, the only way she's going to get that next installment if there's some movement on this setup to get Kyle out. Now, you wasn't on the call with us last week, Keish, when we talked about Kyle making that stupid deal with Victor, putting $5 million on his head, that if he screw up, not only does he break up with Claire, but he leaves town. Let me get your thoughts on that, because we didn't get to hear from you on that part. So what did you think about that part?
It was just goofy. Like, what was the point of that?
Girl.
If you love Claire, you're in love with Claire, and you feel like what you and Claire have is solid, why are you jumping through these hoops to satisfy Victor? Both of them. Him and Claire, both. Giving him a $5 million contract simply because Victor is choosing not to trust Kyle with his granddaughter. That's just dumb.
It's goofy.
I mean, not that obviously money isn't an issue for either one of them, because if you're doing $5 million for something like this, then they must have plenty to play with. Of course, Victor does for sure.
Right.
But just in general, a contract to promise that you won't break somebody's heart.
Right.
It was stupid. Kyle's an idiot, though. I mean, what do we expect?
What do we expect? And the thing is that I just figured that it was a way to prove something to Claire. He know that nothing's going to change Victor's mind. He has said that. He know how that family works. He done been through multiple times with Victor and kicked him to the curb. He's doing all of this to prove something to Claire. In my opinion, Claire is the one that is delusional, because she still thinks that there's got to be one little thing that's just going to melt Victor's heart, and then he's going to feel all lovey-dovey hard eyes for the two of them, and it's never going to happen.
Well, Claire's an idiot too.
I mean, seriously, I don't understand. Now, according to Bree thinks that she wants the same validation that Summer received, when Summer was with Kyle. But it's like you and Summer are two different people. You and your relationship that the relationship that she has with him is totally different than what Summer and Kyle had.
Right.
So, and this was even when Hunter King was Summer. I mean, it's totally opposite. The personality types are different. Well, I don't know, because Claire came to town with needles and things. So, I don't know. That could be questionable, but.
And also, Summer and Kyle have known each other basically since they were babies.
Exactly. That is
like
true.
They grew up around each other.
I agree with that. Part. I totally agree with that. You are absolutely right on that. And for her to think that I want the same approval that you gave Summer and Kyle is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. And to be quite honest, Kyle knows Victor better than Claire does. Claire's only been around for what, a year now? Two. Maybe a year and a half, 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
He knows Victor way better. So you would think that she would default to what Kyle is telling her when it comes to trying to change his mind or impress him or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's also grown up around Victor, and he was married to one of his other grandchildren. So there's been this feud between their families for generations.
Exactly.
But I don't know. I don't know what to say about Claire. She's clearly doesn't have all her brain cells.
Yeah, and the thing is, not even the fact that Kyle told her, her own mother had told her what has happened in her situation when it comes to her father and her past marriages. I mean, the girl was arrested on her wedding day.
Right.
You know, and that's still not enough for Claire to say, okay, well, maybe I should just enjoy my relationship and keep it moving.
Yeah, and not care about what Victor wants or what he says. Because what is he going to do?
Exactly.
Like, in the grand scheme of things, what is Victor going to do if she doesn't stop dating Kyle?
Well,
because
go ahead.
He can cut off the relationship, but she still has her mother and her father and Nikki.
Right.
Like,
everybody else in town, the Abbotts and the Newmans, excluding Victor, supports Kyle and Claire. That's not enough for her for whatever reason.
Yeah, I don't get it.
It just don't make any sense to me. But anyway, the other thing that was going on is the fact that with this trap, Audra thinks that she can create some type of buzz around Vibrante, which she can do in Nice, which pulls Kyle away from Genoa City and pull her along with, pull him along with her.
Yeah.
Now, here's my issue. On the Wednesday episode, Kyle clearly did not want to go. He didn't. He was like, nope, I'm going to stay here. I want to be close to Claire. But Jack, with his stupidity, said, no, you should go. We can really make a buzz. And all. I'm like, Jabot been in business for decades. Vibrante is not going to even make a stain on your company. Why do you really care what ploy or if this is some type of competition? Why do you even care about that? Now, granted, Jack said, well, you know what, I told Diane, I know this is a trap and I just want to throw it in Victor's face. So you're going to put your son in a trap, which, according to the spoilers, Kyle will fall in a trap next week.
Mm-hmm.
So is it worth it to prove something? Now, this man, he could do something stupid. I mean, obviously it's going to be his fault because he has the final say, right? Because his dad didn't have to force him to go there. But you're going to lose everything if you do something stupid. Because if you break Claire's heart, now you didn't breach their contract. This is Audra's sole purpose. It has nothing to do with Jabot. It's all about trying to take you down and break up their relationship so she can cash out with Victor.
Exactly.
What's your thoughts?
So I think whatever happens, I think it's going to be something to where Audra can make it appear as if Kyle did something with her, or just something to make it appear as if Kyle and Audra slept together or were getting close or something like that. I don't think it's going to be a situation where Kyle actually goes for it,
Mm-hmm.
because in my opinion, he's been going so hard for Claire when it comes to Summer, when it comes to Victor, or anybody else doubting their relationship. He is like bent over backwards to prove that Claire is who he wants to be with.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't see Audra being the one that breaks that, because he has clearly shown from the last time that he has no interest in Audra. He is all about Claire. So I think whatever happens is going to end up being some type of misunderstanding that Audra is going to be able to construe into there was something nefarious going on between the two of them that she can give to Victor to show Claire, to have Claire doubt or be pissed off at Kyle.
Well,
and
I
possibly
think
try to break up with him.
they're thinking that I'm assuming that they're hoping that by creating, it's kind of like creating a deep fake. You could easily, you know what I'm saying, say, hey, I'm going to put two people on there here who never been together, never had any interaction, but I'm going to make it look like, they kissed or they slept together or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're hoping for the initial emotional response. Now, if Claire is smart, she should take a step back and be like, okay, wait a minute, let me look at this. Would he really do this to me after he's been consistent with me? Because he's been consistent with Claire.
Yep.
So she has to think rationally and not jump into an emotional response, because that emotional response will destroy this whole thing. That's what they're hoping for.
Yeah.
Because, in general, you want one-offs or what they call people that are outliers exist, but majority of people, if you see your significant other on the picture, your emotional response is going to be, oh my God. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what they're hoping for, but I'm hoping that she thinks logically and be like, wait a minute, Kyle has never wavered one time. Why all of a sudden he would have felt so comfortable to get involved with this woman unless something else is going on. And they got to think about, because she even said it herself to her parents about a month ago.
Yep.
I think that the reason that my grandfather hired Audra is to undermine Kyle. Okay, so remember that.
Right. That was one of the other reasons why I felt like Audra's whole plan was going to fall apart, because they identified that early on.
Mm-hmm.
That they think that Audra, or that they know that Audra and Victor are working together. So I don't know. I don't know what kind of trap Audra will end up setting for him. I don't know. Maybe it'll be something to where they end up blackmailing Kyle into breaking up with Claire. I don't know how or why or what it could possibly be, but I don't believe that Kyle is going to just all of a sudden cheat on Claire with Audra. It's definitely not going to be that.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going to find a way, whether it's blackmail or whether it's just Claire all of a sudden being insecure and not believing that Kyle didn't do anything wrong. They're going to find a different way to break them up initially.
Yeah, in my opinion, I just hope that it blows up in both Audra and Victor's face. On the flip side of this coin is Nate.
Yep.
So what happens when it comes to Nate? Now, if in fact this does go the wrong way and pictures get out or whatever, this is going to destroy that relationship too. Because she sat up here and lied through this whole thing to this man, keeping secrets and things like that. But I don't feel sorry for Nate either, because you knew what you were getting involved in.
Yeah. Yes. So everybody knows Audra can be a little snake. Mm-hmm. But I mean, if we if we look at it that way, though, then it's like no one should ever get involved with Audra. No one should ever get involved with Adam or Chelsea or those people that have had that kind of past before, where they've always been scheming and setting people up.
And I agree with you on that.
I wouldn't say that. I don't know. I wouldn't say that I wouldn't feel sorry for Nate, because he truly likes Audra, and I think Audra actually truly likes him as well. She's just too greedy. She's greedy. It's like she has these goals to be the CEO of her own company, and she will do whatever she needs to do to get there, to the point where she wouldn't even accept a job at Winters because she couldn't be the one in charge. So she gets in her own way. As much as I think she cares about Nate, and it shows to me with her relationship with Amy. That's what makes me believe that she really cares about Nate, because I think she has a really pure relationship with Amy. But she's getting in her own way, and she's going to screw her own relationship up, which may also affect her relationship with Amy too, unless Amy, has some sympathy for her, says, you know what, I haven't always been honest either. I get where you're coming from. I know you had an end goal and you didn't mean to hurt Nate, but I don't know.
Well, here's my thing with this, Keish, is that I agree they should have partners, meaning like you just went through that list with Audra and Adam and things like that. But don't get into a relationship thinking that they're going to be different people. See, that's why I was saying, like, with Adam and Audra, I think they will work together because they know that they both will move ruthless. They know they would. There's no reason for Chelsea, which is also part of this week, to think that Adam was going to do anything different. Adam is going to be Adam. He's going to want to prove something to his father. And for her to think that, I think he's really changed. Okay, he's not doing all of the crazy stuff he used to, do. But one thing that he will do is bend to his dad. That has not changed. And if you're going to get in a relationship and think, oh, it's just going to change because I'm with you. No, that person has to want to do that on their own.
True. However, that person should still be honest with them about that. And Adam
exactly.
Honest with Chelsea about it, and Audra isn't being honest with Nate about what she's planning to do. So it's like, yes, you need to go into the relationship with your eyes open and not having the expectation that person is going to change for you, unless they tell you that they are, or unless you ask them specific questions and they lie to you about it.
Right.
Nate asked her specifically, like, what are you doing with Victor? Basically, like, what are you guys scheming? Like, what's going on here? And Audra keeps saying, oh, nothing. It's nothing. Nothing for you to worry about. Nothing's going on. This is on the up and up. And Adam is telling Chelsea, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to let my dad manipulate me. I'm not going to let this happen. Blah, blah. So if those people are just outright lying to the people that they're with when they ask them specific questions, then it's on those individuals.
Right, I agree with that.
You're not being honest with me.
Right.
Adam should say, you know what, I do want to impress my dad. I'm sorry. I don't think I'll ever stop being that way. He should say that to Chelsea if that's the case. And same with Audra and Nate.
And I agree with you on that, Keish. I mean, they need to be honest. They need to tell the truth, to say, hey, I know this is what you would want from me, but, I don't own the company. He's my boss. If he's going to want me to do something, I'm going to have to do with it. So you're going to either you're going to be able to deal with it or not. I do think that Audra should be honest as well. The thing is, though, is that this is not new to either Nate or Chelsea. They know how they move. And so to think that, they're going to be different, I just think is a little bit misguided. It's one thing if you've never met this person, but Nate knows how, she dealt with Tucker and his unscrupulous things. the back and forth in the previous deals that she did with Victor, the undermining and back and forth with Kyle. Nate witnessed all of it, and you signed up for it. And to think that she's not going to be truthful with you. Yeah, she showed a different side with Amy, but she's still a ruthless person, and she's manipulative in her speech, because the first thing that she'll say is, well, you don't think I got this? And I would have told her, no, I don't think you got it. You don't.
Yeah, I think it's one thing to not have the expectation that Audra wouldn't change her ruthlessness, or that Adam wouldn't change his ruthlessness, versus believing that the person that you're with wouldn't lie to you when you ask them a direct question about something. Because if anybody is to expect, it's just going to say, well, they're a liar, I just have to go into the relationship knowing that, then there's no point in you being in a relationship with that person.
Well, that's just like, Chelsea's a known con. We know her history. You and your history is expecting somebody not to lie to you. You know, she been married to this man before. She done got a kid by him. She done been in relationships at least once or twice with Adam. You know what you're dealing with.
But how do they approach that thing? Is it just, oh, I'm going to get in this relationship, and then I'm just going to expect some lies and then just deal with it? Or then Adam just needs to be single, because that should be the opinion of anybody that gets in a relationship with him.
I think he should be with Audra. I think he should be with Audra. I honestly think, I've been saying that since 2022, because those two understand the dark side of the hustle.
But they would just still be lying to each other about things.
Yeah, well, that would be the show's toxic couple then. Because all they would do is they would come home to each other and do ruthless things. But one thing I will say is Audra probably wouldn't have no problem saying to Adam what she would be doing, like she's not telling Nate.
Yeah, that part might be true. Now that makes sense. If they need to be with people where they can be completely honest about
the dark stuff.
Instead
Exactly.
of when someone asks you a question, you lie about what you're doing because you don't want them to think bad of you.
Exactly.
So I'll say that. However, you get in a relationship with somebody that you can't do that with, then you're the one that's wrong for lying.
Exactly.
The other person is just trusting that you'll be honest with them. And I don't. So I would feel bad for Nate, or I will feel bad for him when it comes out that she's been lying to him this whole time, because he trusted that she wasn't lying.
And his own cousin, Lily, been trying to warn him for the last couple months. She's definitely not sold on the girl, even though.
Oh, for sure.
So other people see it. Other people know that she's moving raw. And even this Holden thing, he has to pick up on the fact that something else happened between those two. He just don't want to see it.
Yeah.
You know.
The Holden part of it, that part does annoy me, because my thing is, if whatever happened between the two of them was so bad, the way Audra seems to act around him is like, whatever he did to her or whatever happened, she just absolutely wants nothing to do with him in that way. And what annoys me is that she stands there and she listens to him talk, or she listens to him tell her, I got, maybe I should be worried about Kyle being my competition. And it's like, that it annoys me with her, but it also annoys me with him, because it's coming to a point where it feels borderline like harassing, I guess, like
stalkerish.
Obsessive. Yes, yeah, because she hasn't, in my opinion, I don't think Audra has given him any indication that she is at all interested in rekindling anything with him. And every time they're in a scene together, Holden makes some type of reference to their past and how great they were together, and how, he's in competition with Nate or whoever else to try to get her back or rekindle what they had. And she always rejects it. She always turns him down. She always tells him, I'm not interested. And he won't stop coming at her like that. And it's gotten to the point where Holden is becoming gross to me, because he won't leave her alone comes to that stuff.
Right. Yeah. So what do you think about this thing with Lily and Damien? Because Damien is doing everything possible to get
Yeah.
close to Lily, and I don't think this is going to happen.
Yeah, I don't like it because I feel like it's almost become like he's desperate to get her to like him.
Right.
Like he is, in a sense, begging and pleading and doing everything he can to get Lily to loosen up around him and to start trusting him and to maybe try to see him in a romantic kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I feel like Lily is just very surface level with him, and excuse me, and it's like she is not trying in any way to even be that way with him. Like, I've been on dates with guys before where it's like there was no attraction there, and it was just like almost fake smile just to get through a date kind of thing. Mm-hmm. That's what I think of when
you see those
Lily
two.
And Damien. Yeah, she's just, it's like she's not feeling him like that, and she's just trying to be nice at this point because he's Nate's cousin or Nate's brother.
Yeah, but I mean,
So
they've been
it's
writing.
Almost painful.
Yeah, they've been writing little things in there to make it look like she was the one that offered him a job, and I mean, she used him up until this point, and now, the man is fired. So,
yeah,
at this point, it's like, well, what do I need him for? I guess he's just around. I done gave a man a job. I guess I got to do something to, make up for the fact that now this man had fired him. So, I don't know, but he seemed like he is just so interested in her, and she's just like, okay. Because like Bree said, which Bree is in the chat. Hey, Bree, she said she's at the doctor listening in. What's going on, girl?
Hi, Bree.
Like Bree said, is that, it seems like, what did she say? And it was just on my thoughts. And Bree, if you remember what you said about those two, let me know. But it was something that she said in the chat about those two when it comes to Damien and Lily, But TA said Damien and Lily is such a letdown. Their scenes together are cringe. The writers blew it. They ruined it. I totally agree.
And I think it's because of how harshly they've had Lily acting towards him. And for me anyway, after a few weeks, it got to the point where I was like, I don't even want to see them together anymore because she's been such a jerk to him.
Yep.
So for me, I would prefer them to move him on to another woman. You guys know I wouldn't mind seeing him and Phyllis start to be friends, and maybe a little more than that. I think I'm completely over the Lily Damien thing.
Yeah, it sucks. I mean, it started out, I was so excited about that, and then as time went on, when she went to Victor on this man, this opened the Dumas situation, and then she's just been mean, and I don't know, she just acted like she just didn't want to be bothered with him, and then all of a sudden, she figured, is that a way to, to use him, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. I guess Bree, Lord, Keish, what happened to her? She'll probably pop back in. Hold on one second, you guys. I'm going to try to get her back. All right. I don't know. I know she's on the road, so she probably lost signal. Let's see. Hopefully we can get her back. But anyway, I will keep it moving. So we also had the situation with Billy and Sally. And to me, another snooze fest. I really, truly was not interested in that one. To me, I don't know. I know she's trying to keep him at bay. Oh, wait a minute. She's trying to call. Keish?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, girl.
Okay. Sorry, I was driving through some mountains.
Yeah, I figured, be careful, girl, driving through the mountains. Ooh, every time I think about stuff like that, it'd be like, ooh, it's kind of scary. Anyway, what did you think about Billy and Sally? Look like Sally is another one that's trying to reel him in and talk him down. Uh-oh. I must have lost.
Okay, say it again. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I said Sally is another one that's trying to talk Billy down. What do you think? Can you hear me?
What? Can you hear me?
I can hear you
I
now.
can hear you. Okay. We're trying to talk Billy down from.
Yeah, I said Sally tried to talk Billy down.
From what? The whole Demont thing? Or
Yeah, and it seemed like she's trying to rein him in a little bit because she was like, why don't we just stay home? And he was like, no, I mean, I'm still going, because I want to do this and I want to do that. And, it's just interesting. You got Nate trying to talk Audra out of something. Nate trying to talk, Audra. Chelsea trying to talk Adam out of some stuff with this whole Billy release. And then you had Sally trying to talk down Billy. But like Monica said, Billy is just so stubborn. Bree said Lily cringed at the thought of him getting her a gift. Exactly. That's what it was.
Yes, she did say that.
I forget. That was the part.
I do remember.
Yeah, she was, oh my God, I hope you didn't get me any jewelry. Girl, all he gave her was a thank you. If that's, I guess, what you would consider a gift. Okay, cool. But she was freaking out.
It was that book. It was that jazz.
Yeah, the jazz book.
It was like a table book or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a sweet gesture because it was about Neil. But,
right.
Yeah, I hated that scene too because it's very cringy. It's almost like secondhand embarrassment for Damien because of how hard he's trying, and she's just kind of like playing him to the side.
Mm-hmm. I agree. What else we had? We had this thing with Phyllis. She's excited. I know you had some thoughts on Phyllis earlier too. What was your thoughts on Phyllis?
She's just she has come across as very desperate, and they actually had Daniel say that to her. Was it Daniel that said it?
I think so.
I think it was Daniel that said that she's acting desperate with this whole Dumas thing. And she is. Like, the way that she was begging Amanda to get her the invite, and then she walks around and she tells everybody, oh, I'm invited to this exclusive party at the Dumas estate in France. And, like, the way she was doing with Danny and Cricket today. And it was just, like, another situation of secondhand embarrassment with Phyllis.
Mm-hmm.
Because she has just become so pathetic. And it's like she can't wait to tell everybody that she was invited.
Mm-hmm.
With what plan though, Phyllis? Because we still haven't heard what her plan is. Like, what are you presenting to Demont?
Exactly.
Like, what is the proposal that you have? All you have is an invitation to embarrass yourself right now.
Yep. I agree with you.
But it's just like, I don't know how to explain it. The way that she tries to brag to everybody about, her little invitation is just very corny and cringy, and I don't know. I don't know how to explain Phyllis these days.
I know, right? Bree says
childish.
Exactly. Bree says Sally thinks she can change Billy. Did she forget she was with Adam? Those men are set in their ways. And she also said, everybody's so excited to meet Casper. I've completely lost interest after Y&R blatantly lied in their spoilers, saying that he will be revealed today. A bunch of bull.
Yeah.
Yep.
They do that from time to time. Lie about their spoilers.
Mm-hmm. I know. Bo does it all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Cynthia said, please give Phyllis a therapist. She will probably have a total meltdown when she is ignored when she arrives in France.
She needs something. Yeah.
I mean, she thinks that her gift of gab in her mind is going to open doors for her, whereas it's going to make her look annoying.
Yes. That's what she has become since Michelle Stafford has come back into this role. Or I'll say the moment that she broke up with Nick.
Yep.
All those years ago.
2022.
From that moment on.
Mm-hmm.
Was it only 22?
Yeah, it was in 2022
okay.
with the whole Jack talking about I love you and playing cat and mouse, and then he go to LA and that's where they brought Diane in. Yes.
Oh, okay. I felt like it's so much longer than that. But from that moment, she's just never recovered.
Nope.
She has just come off as just desperate, unhinged, annoying. It's like she's been a little gnat on the show that's just flies into everybody's face and just won't go away.
Mm-hmm.
Uninvited, very just overbearing.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when it comes to Daniel. Just she always has to insert herself into a situation where she wasn't invited.
Mm-hmm.
It's just,
yeah.
And I hate saying that about her because she was one of my favorite characters on Y&R.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd feel this way about Phil, but it's like she has no purpose, and she's just floating through the scene, getting on everybody's nerves, being childish, acting like a 15-year-old high school girl, and it's become frustrating to watch.
Well, this is
cringy.
what I was saying about the whole thing is the fact that she's a tech person. They ended up giving that Cassidy First company to Sharon, obviously, because that guy, Cameron Kirsten, bequeathed it to her. But the thing is that Sharon knows nothing about tech. And I'm not saying that she couldn't learn, but it would be feasible for her to say, hey, I got this company. I don't need any reminders of Cameron Kirsten. Maybe I can just sell it, and somehow created a way or a storyline where Phyllis ended up buying the IT company and running for herself because that's where her expertise is.
Right. Because she has money.
Yeah,
we were talking about that too in the group chat. She sold the Grand Phoenix, and Nick a couple of times has talked about how great of a deal she got and how much, that she made all this money. She was able to pay him back with interest. So it's not like Phyllis is broke. So I don't know why they have her running around here begging people for jobs.
Now, Bree said that when she did that whole fake your death thing, she had to pay that money back to the police department.
Yeah, but I can't imagine. I feel like whatever she sold the Grand Phoenix for, it had to be up in the double digits of the high millions, at least. I can't imagine that whatever she had to pay back the police force was that much that it would have wiped all that money out.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, but the thing is, wasn't Nick offering her another loan or something, and she turned it down.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he was.
Right.
Which that also made me question. It's like, why is she still asking? Why would she need another loan? She supposedly made all that money off of selling Grand Phoenix. So I don't know. Maybe they did wipe her bank account out with the police force.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
And the thing, even still, she had opportunity to get money. I just think this was written poorly.
Yep.
And I know that obviously Phyllis and Sharon wasn't friends. They really didn't get close, if that's what you want to call it, until a couple months ago with the whole Martin Laurent thing, right? But even still, they could have wrote something in there where, hey, I can't run a tech company. I just want to focus on my being a therapist. Because think about it. Sharon is a therapist / coffee house owner / IT owner. And I'm not saying that nobody can own multiple businesses. I mean, I can understand the therapy thing because she went to school for that. And then she owned Crimson Lights. Okay, cool. She got Esther to run that. But that IT company, somehow they should have figured out a way where they can get that over into Phyllis's hands.
Yeah, I agree. That would be the perfect solution to Phyllis's job problem.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
So,
And
go ahead. What were you about to say?
I was going to say, and also there was really nothing that came about with the whole having the two of them kidnapped together, because they went right back to just,
You're throwing darts at each
disliking
other over
Yeah,
Nick.
so nothing changed with that relationship.
Exactly.
Like you said, that would have been a good opportunity for them to talk about that. Phyllis could have gained a business and Sharon could have sold hers. So that whole thing was pointless, other than to break up Tracy and Alan and put Alan in jail. Or Martin. Was it Martin or Alan?
Well, from what I heard, it was Martin. So, because remember,
he's
why.
the bad twin, right?
Right, he's the bad twin.
Okay.
But the reason that I say it was Martin is because Ashley realized that, it was Martin the one that put me into the hospital. It wasn't, and my dear friend is gone. So they made it clear that Alan was the one that passed away last year.
Yeah.
So,
honestly, they need to figure out what to do with Sharon and Phyllis both, because they haven't really given Sharon much of anything good either in the last several years, since Ray died, honestly.
Bree said Phyllis spends money living at the hotel for years. That gotta be expensive, especially with no job.
That is true.
That is true, Bree. That is definitely true. And then the only other thing that I guess is talk worthy is Chelsea trying to bribe or make a deal with Victor, which blew up in her face because she didn't do her homework. Victor did. Victor figured out where Tucker McCall was, because she was like, hey, I thought she was going to use Connor. And I don't mean in a bad way. But when she said, "Oh, I got leverage. I'm going to use against Victor to get him to back off of Billy." And when she said, "I know who Dumas is Tucker McCall," I'm like, okay. And if it was Tucker McCall, do you actually think that was going to stop Victor from going after Billy?
Right. So that was one of the episodes I didn't watch this week.
That was was it yesterday?
Yeah, I didn't see Wednesday or Thursday.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, it was either Wednesday or Thursday. But she told Adam, "Oh, don't worry about it. I got this. Yeah, I know who Dumas is." And she goes over there to tell Victor, and Victor was like, "It ain't Tucker, because Tucker has been in some, I don't know, prison for 6 months or something." And she was like, "Oh." I'm like, "Girl, at least if you got a hunch, go figure out where the man is first."
How did she come to that conclusion?
Because she connected all of the dots. She said that she figured who would want to go after Chancellor because Tucker is Catherine's son and trying to get the company back and all that old kind of stuff, and the connection with the Winters.
So she was just making assumptions.
Yeah,
she didn't
pretty
have
much.
Any solid evidence.
Nope. And the thing is, she didn't realize that Victor is always 2 steps ahead. He probably did think it was Tucker, but he found out Tucker was locked away somewhere.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, Chelsea.
Yeah, poor
she
Chelsea.
Thought she was doing
something. And it means nothing, because now he's still gonna have to go after Billy. But I don't know how to. I guess some stuff is gonna go down next week. So. What did Bree say? Bree said, "I'm not surprised Victor found out Tucker was in India prison and Devon completely forgot about his daddy." That's the other thing. That conversation over at the Winters house, where Abby was mad that the Winters want to side with Dumas over her daddy. And I'm like, I don't see why not. He been lying since day one to especially Lily. Lily decided at the last minute to realize that she was again getting played by Victor with this whole thing. And I'm like, yeah, well, at the 11th hour, Damien tried to tell you, Amanda tried to tell you, and you didn't believe him.
Yeah, and to look at Lily of all people and cop an attitude because she was spitting facts about her father. Mm-hmm. It's like, do you not remember just last year when they played Lily?
Exactly.
When your dad and his wife played Lily and took her job from her?
Girl, did you?
And then she,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and then try to, they always try to sugarcoat it with, but aren't you much happier here working with your family? And it's like, I'm glad Lily said that's not the point. It was the way that they went about things. It doesn't matter that I'm enjoying working with my brother now. They still did what they did.
Exactly. Yep. And the fact that Abby was like, but he did it for your, like you said, he did it for your better good and all this kind of stuff. The ends justify the means. It's like, girl, they blatantly lie in her face. Nikki
Right.
used Catherine's letters to manipulate her.
Yep.
Girl,
But
please.
That's Abby, though. Abby will forever make an excuse for Victor no matter what.
Yeah, but I mean, it's
That's
her
why her
daddy.
relationships don't last.
Nope. All right, thank you, Tommy Smith, for the super chat. He said Mr. Sheffield and the nanny, a.k.a. Kyle and Claire, the perfect couple. I hope they don't break up. I hope Audra and Victor gets what's coming to them. Tommy Smith is a fan of Kyle and Claire. Yep, he's definitely a fan of Kyle and Claire. So thank you again for the super chat. What Lily? Bree said Lily still wants. Oh, Lily still went to Victor about Damien and Aristotle Dumas. Yes. She did. All right. Her call phased out. She'll probably call right back. And so, again, there she is. All right. You there, girl?
I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, I get it. Signal issues. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, gotcha. All right, we're going to move on to Bold, girl. We're going to move on to Bold and the Beautiful. And pretty much this entire week is focused around Lunatic Luna. So give your thoughts on this whole thing. Because to me, it's one run-on sentence. Everybody's scared of what Luna can do. Luna showed up. Deacon... look like we lost her again. Luna showed up over at Deacon's place. Deacon made it perfectly clear to Luna that, yeah, it's not happening. It's not happening, and you're going to have to get out of here. We saw Sheila trying to warn everybody. She was calling Finn and Steffi, and of course they didn't answer the phone. So, you know. They're building up to this thing. This thing is going on longer and longer than expected with this. Yeah, Aisha, I'm over it too. Bree is like the blah and the boring. You are absolutely correct, ma'am. The blah and the boring. Man, I'm telling you, it is just like, another week of Lunatic Luna. And I think as we've been talking about, this morning, earlier in this chat, or in the group chat, I mean, it seemed like we're stuck in 2 days. I think Bree described it as them being in their clothes for a whole week. And I guess we're stuck in the same 2 days that we have been. Exactly, Angela. I need them to hurry up and get over this Luna storyline as well. I agree with you. Cynthia said if they said Luna's name one more time, I was going to scream. Deacon forgotten that he helped Sheila get out of jail. Ain't that right, Sawana? Yep, and got her pardon. You know, this whole storyline is backwards. And here's my thing. If they want to get Jacqueline off, because obviously I'm assuming Jacqueline and her husband Elon has had their 5th child. I know she was due in May. We're now midway June. Okay, so they are about 4 to 6 weeks behind, which would technically put us at the beginning of May, which I'm assuming, obviously, this is her exit to get Jacqueline off on maternity leave. Okay?
Had a couple of rough spots there.
Be careful, girl.
It's just a signal.
Oh, signal. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But I think, you guys, they're trying to get Jacqueline off on maternity leave, which would have put us about 4 to 6 weeks ago, which would be the beginning of May, because she was due in May. I just think that they should have just did like they did with Lily, and I said this earlier this morning, is to have Lily, like Lily did. She said, oh, when she was pregnant with her baby, I'm going to go off to see Maddie and Charlie because Maddie got something going on. There was a fire at the school. I'll be back later. And obviously, Daniel cheated on Lily with Heather during that whole storyline. But it was an easy way to get Crystal Khalil off onto maternity. What you saying?
Easy and simple.
Easy and simple, exactly, to get her off on maternity leave. Why do we need to use this whole Luna story? Look like she might be trying to kidnap her little brother. Why are we using this whole... Go ahead, Keish.
I was going to say, but it still doesn't... I still don't understand how that's going to usher Jackie out on maternity leave.
Only... Maybe it's a close call. Maybe they think that she gonna get her out, and then he's like, you know what? She's gonna take the kids and go off to international or something. You know what I mean? Maybe she won't be successful at the kidnapping. But I think maybe she's gonna get scared and says, you know what? Oh my God, I can't believe Luna got close to my son. You know what? I'm gonna take the kids and I'm gonna get out of LA for a while.
If they do that again, I need them to come up with a better way to because we did that already.
Yeah.
We did it what was the other way that she went out on it? Because she's got 5. This is her 5th now, right?
Yeah, this is her 5th child.
I think they wrote one of them in.
Right, they did.
I don't think she was pregnant. She wasn't pregnant in real life with Hayes, right?
Right.
She was pregnant in real life with Kelly.
Right.
So I don't remember how okay. So she did Italy. That's only 2. So I don't remember what she did for the other 2.
All they could do is say, listen, I'm going to take a little bit of time. I'm going to go visit Thomas and wherever.
Yeah.
And see him. I need a break, and I'm going to go talk up Forrester since we got the company back in the Forrester hands. I'm going over to International to solidify things over there and see how the staff is doing. And just, do that. Why do we need the Lunas? Honestly, I really like Lisa Yamada. I wish they would have rehabilitated her.
I wish they would have done that too. I wish they would have never made her
a villain,
a killer,
or
not even. So this is what I wanted for Lisa, or for the Luna character, even before all of this stuff happened. Like this was even going back to when she first came on the scene. I wanted her to be more like just a wild child, kind of like how Steffi was. Like I wanted that for her character. Because it was too much of the sugary sweet. I'm so innocent. She was a virgin. It was too much of that. It was over the top, and it wasn't needed. Like she didn't need to be a virgin, and because her mother was, a free spirit or whatever. I wish that they would have made her more like that, or more, just like how Steffi was when when Jackie first took over the role. Just like, a little wild child. She does what she wants. She, is cutthroat to an extent, but not to the point where, she's trying to take people out kind of thing.
Right.
I wouldn't have even minded Elektra being like that. And I'm Elektra, so I know people are, saying that Elektra is stupid when she goes and confronts Luna. But I'd much rather have Elektra be like that than be a little timid mouse who, shake it in a corner. It's more entertaining for her to be somebody that will get in Luna's face versus the opposite. But making her a unaliver was too much. They didn't need to go there.
I totally agree with that. I had to run and get my charger. I didn't want everything to just shut down. I'm always using my my devices, and before you know, the batteries be going. All right, hold on.
But we have talked about that, about Luna on the podcast before, where a lot of people were annoyed with how goody she was, and she had there was like really no substance there with her. She was all about RJ. They made her character basically all about RJ. And it was just I'll do whatever RJ wants, and RJ is the best thing ever, and I'm just this sweet little innocent virgin, blah blah blah. And if they were gonna have a character like her, then they needed to bring an opposing female character to her character.
Right.
So it helped to make her a little more interesting. Because can you imagine Hope with no Stephanie?
Right. That's true. Here's my issue with this whole storyline. So, and I said this morning, and this involves Finn. So, we had Finn realizing that he could possibly be Luna's dad after sleeping with his auntie. Now, granted, they're not biological, but that was still, in theory, his auntie. And then he goes through all these series of tracking down Poppy. I want the answer. I need you to tell me the truth. I ran not one, but 2 DNA tests. And come to find out that both tests, pulling blood, which technically he shouldn't have, because you cannot, and I mean, HIPAA doesn't apply on TV, but you technically just can't pull a sample of somebody's blood and use it for yourself. So you went through all of that, realized this girl was your daughter. You went to the prison trying to find her. The warden ends up telling you she's over at Bill's. You go over to Bill, make this connection saying that you my daughter, and then now you want to close the door. It's like, why did you even open Pandora's box, Finn, if you were going to be so dismissive? What do you think about that, Keish?
But I mean, Finn's personality is he's honest to a fault. He's always been that way. Like, I know that there has been things where he's kept to himself. Like, I think Bree pointed out in the chat, he lied to his mom all these years about sleeping with Poppy. And it's like, yes, he didn't lie. However, he did withhold that information. He didn't say anything about it.
Right.
He didn't tell his mom about a one-night stand he had.
Nope.
Why would he? Because to his knowledge, nothing resulted from it. So I don't view that the same as keeping that kind of secret from somebody. And so my logical brain is saying a secret like this was never going to stay a secret on soap. They let the viewers know that this was a possibility. They let the viewers see that he ran this test and he found out that he is her father. So it was going to have to come out, regardless of if it was Finn saying it or someone else saying it. But we also know the Finn character isn't a liar in the sense of the word, where he would keep that kind of secret from Luna, because he knows that that's something that she has wanted to know, and it, desperate to know for her entire life, basically. I mean, I get what you're saying as well, but I think in Finn's mind, he's probably thinking to himself, it would be unfair for me to know this information, not tell Luna when I see her struggling with the fact that she doesn't know who her father is.
So,
kind of thing.
Well, and then, I mean, Cheryl and Bree are agreeing with each other that Finn has mixed feelings when it comes to Luna. The thing is, you knew this girl was going to want to pursue a relationship. She's been on the mission. Part of the storyline that she's had since the whole RJ and Zende thing was, who's my father? And that started back in January, early February of 2024, when her mama came to town. So after now 18 months almost, you knew this girl has been looking for her father. And then you dropped this bombshell on her. And like you say, he is honest to a fault. You know, he's going to not keep that a secret from her. But he had to expect or figure out a way to deal with the situation instead of saying, I'm going to wash my hands with it and I'm going to step away from it. Knowing that this girl is going to pursue him hard.
I mean, I look at it this way.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you deserve to know.
Mm-hmm.
However, because of what you did, because of Luna's own actions, I'm not interested. And I don't feel like he's been conflicted.
He's been what now?
Conflicted? I said I don't feel like he's been conflicted.
Okay.
When he went and told her everything that he said was.
Uh-oh. We lost you. Can you say that again? You kind of phased out.
Is this better?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I was just saying his language when he went and told her that he was her father.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, he did hug her. However, he also, basically everything he said was, I'm sorry that I didn't know. I'm sorry that I wasn't there for you. I wasn't there to help raise you. If I had been, things could have been different. He has never once told Luna that he had a desire to be there for her now, because of what she did to Steffi, because of her, taking out Tom and Hollis.
Mm-hmm.
He has always maintained the belief that she belongs in jail, and he told her that the day that he went to tell her the truth about who her father was. He told her, you belong in jail. And he said it multiple times since. And he's told her that he doesn't want a relationship with her because of what she did. I mean, he's basically told this girl, I can't look at you differently because of what you did to my wife.
Mm-hmm.
Does it suck for Luna because, he doesn't want that relationship for her? Of course it does, because according to her, she's been desperate to find her father. Although I take some of that with a grain of salt, because when she thought she found her father with Tom, what did she do to him? Because she wasn't satisfied with who he was. So you weren't that desperate for a father to unalive him because he didn't live up to your standards and what your expectations were. Mm-hmm. So I don't have any sympathy for her, because Finn wants nothing to do with her now, because Tom wasn't good enough for her, and she got rid of him so she didn't have to deal with him, and so she could lie about, or try to lie about, Bill being her father, because he was more desirable for her. So Luna brought this all on herself.
Yeah, I just wish that they would have went a different direction. She is the antithesis of Claire. Claire came in doing things to her family, and then they made her into an angel child. She came in as this virginal child. I mean, well, not child. These are grown women. She came in as this woman that's been a virgin, and y'all turned her into a dark criminal.
They went from one end of the spectrum all the way to the other side.
Yeah, the same thing with Claire. I mean, remember we were talking about over the past 6 months ago or so, Claire been looking like a school kid.
They treat her like one.
Exactly.
The way Victoria and Nikki and Cole coddle that girl is insane. I don't understand it.
Yep. So they took a woman who was working with Jordan to come in there, poison them, put an IV in the arm of Nikki Newman to have her break her sobriety and do all of these things, and then gave her this grand redemption. And then you flip it when it comes to Luna. She came in sweet, new girl on the block, LA intern, and then turned her into this girl who knew she was sleeping with. She was never a virgin. And then she took out 2 people. And then Finn happened to be her father, because her mother slept with her adopted nephew.
Yeah, the rewrite that they have done of everybody's backstory of the past year of material that they have put out just to make this happen has been, in my opinion, it's been very damaging to Poppy's character and damaging to Luna's character.
Yep.
But especially Poppy's character. And I don't care that the actress said that the show didn't intend to write her to come off as a groomer. There's no other way for me to look at it. I know some people may think differently, but I can't look at it any other way than that. And it was unnecessary for them to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I will never understand the choice to go this route with the story. It makes zero sense to me.
Right.
And not only that, but they had to dumb Finn down to also execute this story because, like you said, for almost 18 months, Luna has been talking about trying to find out who her father was.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had the scene at the Cliff House where Poppy is asking Finn to be a father figure, and there's no, very nonchalant, you don't have any idea who her father could be?
Right. And then
So,
remember that whole scene at the Forrester office when Finn was there and Poppy was looking at him all weird that was in February of 24.
Even with that,
What'd you say? Uh-oh.
Hello?
You still there?
I can hear you.
Okay, go ahead. What'd you say?
Even with that scene and it was Poppy's first scene,
Mm-hmm.
At Forrester Creations with him. Even that scene right there, if this was the backstory that you were planning on writing this whole time, the way that they had Finn and Poppy talking to each other in that scene did not give off the impression that the two of them had sex when he was 18. Because to me, if that was something that you never wanted anybody to find out about, something that Finn said over the years that he was basically ashamed of himself and he knew it was a big mistake, you wouldn't have greeted her with, "Oh, you look just as beautiful as you did when you used back then." Or there was something else that he said, and I'm like, that's not something someone would say if they had slept with their outlaw.
Right.
So Bold makes these stupid choices, in my opinion, that just completely, I don't know. It just makes characters look dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
disgusting,
agree.
in my opinion. And none of it wasn't necessary. So, and the other thing so Bill did that interview 2 or 3 months ago when he was talking about the storylines.
Uh-oh. You still there, Keish? I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Uh-oh. She'll call back. She was getting into the good stuff, y'all. Can you hear me, Keish?
I can hear you.
Okay, say that part again because you faded out.
Oh, sorry. I was saying Bell did that interview that he did a few months ago when he was talking about the storylines that were coming up. I think this was back in January, February.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically, this whole thing where he made Luna Finn's daughter, he did it for Sheila. Because everything he talked about in that interview was how excited he was to explore the bond between Luna and Sheila. He didn't say anything about exploring a bond between Finn and Luna.
Right.
It was all about Sheila. So they did this for Sheila's, for the purpose of giving Sheila a story.
Mm-hmm.
Again, unnecessary. There were plenty of other things that they could have thought of for Sheila to do.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't even about discovering a relationship with Finn and Luna. It was only about Sheila. So I don't know if maybe when Lisa Yamada got that gig for Legally Blonde, if they went a different direction.
Oh, she got a new gig?
Yeah, she is going to be on that Legally Blonde show.
Is that a series or? Oh, okay.
It's a series. I think it's supposed to come out on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
But I think she's supposed to start filming for it soon or something like that.
So you think they're gonna kill her off?
I don't know that they'll kill her off. Maybe she'll run away and she's just gonna be missing for some, a fugitive or whatever.
Okay.
But I feel like with so he gave that interview, and then you see how fast Sheila basically flipped on Luna the minute she started talking about eliminating Stephanie.
Right. So you think it's a redemption as even further for the Sheila character?
I think that's what they're trying to do.
Okay.
Again.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's crazy. Okay. We also had a little conversation that happened outside of the Luna thing. Before I leave the Luna situation, what was the purpose of bringing Remy back?
I don't know. Maybe to give her a talk to, because now she doesn't have anybody now.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't have Sheila to talk to. I mean, she's not going to say the things that she's saying to Remy. She's not going to say those things to Poppy. But I mean, even Poppy she still doesn't want to rekindle or try to repair her relationship with Luna.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that was just to give her somebody to talk to.
Gotcha. Bree said Bold doesn't have any real direction for most of the characters. That's why everybody's repeating one script. Brooke, Taylor, Bill, Lee, Poppy, Eric, and Zende still don't have a storyline.
You ain't lying.
Mm-hmm.
Bill's story should be what's happening with Liam right now, but apparently even Liam's illness isn't about
Girl, that's the other thing. I mean, Hope had to beg this man to tell his daddy and his brothers.
The only thing Liam's illness has done so far is get Hope and Carter back together.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yep. Bree said Remy is the new Mike Guthrie.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
I mean, he's the younger version. Yeah. Exactly. What else we have? And then today's episode, we had Brooke sitting around hoping and pleading for her destiny.
I'm so tired of her and her destiny speeches.
Girl, she's like, it's inevitable. He's going to come back to me. I know he's with Taylor right now, but we belong together. I know it and he know it. It's our destiny. And she said, I know some people might have a problem with the destiny turn. And I'm thinking like, yeah, we call it your dusty destiny card.
It's coming up on 40 years and she's still talking about destiny.
Girl, destiny had... Okay, when are y'all going to hit that destiny? I mean, because like you said...
It shouldn't be this hard.
Exactly. If y'all destined to be together. Girl, please.
My thing is just put the two of them back together so we can move on. Because the moment that he and Taylor reunited, everybody knew what the deal was. This was just temporary until they got back together. This is always the kind of angst that they do for Brooke and Ridge. Is some temporary breakup, and in a few months they reunite them, and then we're gonna have Taylor out here looking goofy again.
You see, finally we have Jack Wagner next week.
Yeah.
And we see Ridge complaining to Taylor about, I don't like that guy. I'm like, Lord, here we go.
Exactly.
Because
automatic jealousy.
Yep. And, Taylor's probably going to be like, well, why do you care? She's grown. She can, if she want to move on with Nick, let her. And he's going to be like, yeah, but I don't trust that guy. Why do you...
Right.
Exactly. So...
For what reason?
And I mean, technically, that is his half-brother. So...
Yeah, but it's like, what do you mean you don't trust him? You don't trust him to do what? Like, what has he done to Brooke in the past for you to say you don't trust him? Because if it's personal issues between him and Nick, that's a different story.
Right.
Just because you don't trust him doesn't mean that he's going to do, something malicious to Brooke, because he's never been malicious towards Brooke.
Mm-hmm.
So, really, it's just that you're jealous.
Exactly. So... That's going to be interesting, but for Taylor, she might as well get ready for all of that, because he going to be all up in Nick and Brooke's business.
Yep.
And she ain't gonna be happy about it. But what did you expect? That's the same
Yeah.
thing I was saying with the other couples on The Young and the Restless. You know that this is what this man is capable of, but you think it's gonna be different this time.
Now Taylor, I don't feel sorry for, because that man has proven to her over and over again that he will kick her to the curb for Brooke in a heartbeat.
Keish, the girl had a whole broken heart syndrome over this man.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't feel sorry for her at all. I just, she's an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that after, I really hope after this time that Belle stops doing this with this character. Because Taylor's only purpose at this point is to be angst for Ridge and Brooke, and to humiliate her. Because he does it every time. He did it the last time they were together. He left her at the altar.
Yep.
Once again.
Yep.
So it's almost like they just enjoy humiliating Taylor. Because what other reason do they have to not allow her to just move on? Like, the woman was gone for how many years? She was off screen, and they still couldn't give her, at least in dialogue, a relationship with somebody. She's in a happy relationship, or she got remarried, or something. Mm-hmm. Every time she comes back to town, they always got to bring a thought. I'm always going to love Reed. She's always going to be the love of my life. Speech. And it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. But she keeps signing up for it. Brooke, too.
Yeah. But Brooke always wins out in the end. So as ridiculous and pathetic as she looks temporarily, she always gets Ridge back. So at least at the end of her, her tour of begging, she actually gets the man. Taylor never does.
Right.
Or she hasn't for the last 25 years.
I agree.
That's the difference between the two of them.
I know, right? Girl, I can't think. What else is there to talk about? I mean, hopefully Liam will get to talk to his brothers and Bill about it. The rest of this stuff was revolving around Luna. We got a new Hayes, a older Hayes on screen, the little boy. I
was gonna say, which I guess that kind of tracks, because they aged up Beth and Kelly. How did they say Beth was turning at the mermaid party? 8. So then Hayes should be
4 or 5. Yeah, because they've been married for 4 years.
5 or 6.
Okay, so did they have Hayes before they got married?
Yeah. Well, they had him like a couple months before they got married.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They've only.
They got married.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. So last year they did this whole thing on social media saying how Steffi and Finn had been together for 4 years.
Yeah.
So he would be somewhere around 4 or 5 then, right?
He's supposed to be 3 years younger than Kelly and Beth. So if Kelly and Beth are 7 or 8, or turning, I guess, 8 or 9 this year, then he would be 5.
Let's see. Hold on. Because
they say 6 or 7.
Okay, hold on. 2021. The son of Steffi and Dr. John Finnegan was born July 1st, 2021.
Yes, but what I'm saying is they aged up Kelly and Beth. So because they aged them up, technically, Hayes should only be 3 years younger than them. So he's going to be a little older than 3 now. Yeah. So they aged him up as well because.
But he looked like a 5. He looked like a 4 or 5 year old.
I think he looks about 5 or 6.
You think so?
Maybe, yeah. I don't think he looks 4. I think he looks a little bigger than 4.
Okay.
Even the way he talks, in my opinion, he sounds a little older than 4.
Okay, so Bree says Kelly is 9, Beth is 8, Hayes is 4 or 5.
If Kelly is 9, then Hayes should be 6 because they're supposed to be 3 years apart.
Girl, who knows? Claire should be 28, but they make her look like she's 16.
They tried to change that with the way they dressed.
And the same thing with Zende. Zende almost 40 years old, and the dude is playing like he's in his early 20s.
Yeah, I hate that.
They confused. Steffi should only be 20-something years old because she was born in 99, I think. Something like that.
I think Thomas was 98 and she was 90.
99, exactly, which would have put them at about 25, 26 years old. My niece was born in 99, so she's going to be 26 this year. So, and of course, Steph is older than that. And so is, so they keep moving these ages around, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But apparently people were annoyed that that Hayes was older than what he should be, and it's like, this is typical. Mm-hmm. They all, periodically Douglas is the only child
who stayed the same age.
That has stayed the same age. Between Douglas and then Faith on Y&R for years was the same little actress. Mm-hmm. They hadn't aged her up in years until... Who
they aged up really fast is Charlie and Maddie.
Yes.
They were around Faith's age at the time, and they aged them up to like high schoolers, and Faith stayed the same age. And then when they left, then they aged up Faith to now being like 19 or 20 or whatever she is now.
Yep, and now they're...
What'd you say? What'd you say, Keish? Can you hear me? Okay, hopefully she'll pop back on. She probably going to. Okay, there you go, Keisha. I didn't hear you. You phased out. Can you hear me, Keish? Okay, she'll pop back in. Hopefully soon. But anyway, yeah, it's crazy how they age up. Bree, you said that Hope is in her early 30s? Gotcha. And Neil's son, too. Oh, yeah, I forgot about Moses. Moses, too. Exactly. It's not what I am underneath what I do. Okay, I don't know what that is. All right, so I'm trying to think, is there anything else we need to... Hold on. Let me get Keish back in here. Can you hear me, Keish? Oh, I lost her again. Okay, she'll be back. All right. We have Poppy pop in there. And she had her 2 cents to say. To me, she's just useless at this point. And like Keish said, they making her look real bad right now. Let's see. Let's try it now. Keish, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. The only other thing that I kind of brought up while you were out was the whole situation with Poppy. Like you said, they making her look bad right now. The only reason that she came around is to try to talk her off the ledge. Do you think that she still should try to fix the relationship with her daughter?
I mean, that's a tough one. Her daughter tried to frame her for double homicide.
That is true.
Like, Luna was going to let her sit in jail for what she did. She, even when Luna was in jail, she showed no remorse. She faked it in front of her mother. But remember when Poppy told her that her and Bill broke up?
Mm-hmm.
And when she was walking out of the room, she was smiling about it. And then after Bill got her out of jail and she was on house arrest, she was prancing around the house like, "Ooh, if you could see me now, Mom, you would lose your mind," or whatever it was that she said. So Luna has no remorse for what she did to Tama Hollis. She has no remorse for what she did to her mom. She
Oh,
She did. Well, she says that she's sorry. I think she's sorry that she got caught, not because she.
uh-oh. Okay, she probably going through another bad spot. Bree, you said Poppy looked bad since last year. She's a proud 304. Girl, you are hilarious. Hilarious. Yeah, I mean, I guess would you call her a throwaway character? I mean, she pops in every now and then. Romy Park is an excellent actress. She's a great dancer and everything. I think she does ballet, but I'm telling you, her being a mom, yeah, it ain't working. It's not working at all. So, anywho. All right. I'm hoping we can get her back so we can talk about Beyond the Gates. Let's see. Hopefully give her a couple seconds to get through the bad spot. I'm hopefully she can hear me talking too. Let me see if I can get her back. If I can get her back. Okay. Well, in the meantime, I'm going to move on to Beyond the Gates. Oh, Lord. I think Beyond the Gates is what kept the show going. And, kept the soap, I guess the soap block. That's what I call it. Because it comes in a soap block here. It comes on Young and the Restless is from 11 to 12:30. Bold and the Beautiful is 12:30 to 1. And then 1 to 2 o'clock is the Beyond the Gates. Bree, did you see Belinda's message? Bree, if you're in the chat, see Belinda's last message. Okay. All right. Deacon's son is older than Hope by 1 year, 1999. Gotcha. All right. Okay, so we had a lot of different things going on Beyond the Gates. We had Bill being in the hospital, is coming off of that stroke, and him being belligerent and trying to work against the doctor, which the doctor is also a crush of Chelsea's. Then we had Danny and Andre sleeping together again, and then her father almost walked in upon them. We had a proposal by, of course, none other than Derek to Ashley. We also had Laura asking Eva to help her with this whole thing. Okay. And let's see. What else? The Articulates are back in Chicago. Here we go. Keish, you good now, girl?
I think so. I think I'm done with the heels now.
Oh, okay, good. Okay. Cool. All right, I was talking about BTG.
Sorry.
Oh, no problem, girl. So, where do you want to start with BTG? We got the proposal. We have Danny putting Tomas on notice. We had that waiter guy whisper that crazy stuff in Martin's ear. We had the situation with the doctor and Danny getting caught by her dad almost. Chelsea and Kat moving into the guest house. And, of course, Andre blew their cover. And then the whole thing with Laura. So, we lost Keisha again. Well, she'll probably try to pop back in. Hopefully she'll be done with the mountain soon. So, the Articulates, they're going, they're in Chicago. I'm curious to find out what that's going to look like, because we know Sharon has not been a happy person when it comes to Anita, but so far so good. I guess they decided to, hold on, let me see. What y'all talking about? Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
How is it now?
It's better.
Okay. All right.
Maybe?
All right.
Yeah, my bars keep going down.
Okay. All right.
Sorry.
So what do you want to start at with BTG while you got a chance, girl?
Oh, I mean, we can get Derek and Ashley out the way.
Okay. What do you think about them? Because, I mean, to me, they have zero chemistry.
Yeah, chemistry wise, it's not there for me between them either.
Mm-hmm.
I
Uh-oh. Can you hear me? Oh, there she go. All right, thank you, Javon, for coming in. We appreciate you. I'm glad you enjoyed the conversation. Oops, hold on. Let me get her. I think she was trying to come in. Let's see. Okay, can you hear me?
I'm so sorry.
No,
Yes.
girl. Okay, so go ahead about Ashley and Derek.
But so Derek has grown on me. Ashley, however, has worked my last nerve.
Okay.
Because she's so whiny. I don't like the way she treats Derek.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like and it's even to the point where I don't like Andre when he's in scenes with Ashley. Okay. So like my dislike for her makes me dislike him when he's in scenes with her.
Okay.
I'm
Uh-oh. Can you hear me, Keish? Yeah, TA, I agree with you. Derek and Ashley has no chemistry. And Bree says Ashley and Andre is blah. Yeah, I'm not feeling that chemistry either. And then we got this proposal. I thought the proposal was kind of cute, but I just think that he's just trying to throw a Band-Aid over a bad situation, in my opinion. I really don't think that, I just think he's trying to pull a Hail Mary to keep that relationship together when she was thinking that he was about to break up with her. One moment it seemed like she don't want to be bothered, and then the next moment it seems like she's like, "Oh my God, I don't want to lose him." And I'm like, "Girl, figure this out." I mean, you need to figure this out, ma'am. Not you, Keish. I was talking about Ashley.
Oh no, I couldn't even hear you. What'd you say?
I said she need to figure this out, ma'am.
Oh.
But
yes.
Go ahead.
No, I agree with you. Even on today's episode, when she went from Derek asking her out, telling her he wanted to go out to dinner. Mm-hmm. She went to believing that he was going to break up with her. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How did you formulate that idea based on him asking you out to dinner? Oh, when a guy asks a girl out to dinner, that's how they break up with them. That was the stupidest thing I think I've ever heard a character say.
Yeah.
One of the stupidest.
Do you think, because I'm looking at a comment in the chat, Hazel McCoy, she said they need to recast Ashley. She just isn't, obviously they have their appeal or their preference. Okay. Her phone went out again. Yeah, I agree. I just don't see the chemistry there. Not at all. I don't know if I would say, should they recast her? I'm not sure of that. I'm not sure. I wanted to try to get, Keisha's opinion on that too, but I'm not sure if they should personally recast. Do y'all think maybe they should recast her, or do you think Ashley is fine? They just need to put her with somebody else. Let me know in the chat. Do you guys think that she should be recasted, or, maybe just, keep her around but put her with somebody else? So let me see what y'all say. Y'all join in. I'm trying to see. Ashley has no chemistry with anyone. Okay, Sharon, I see you. What else y'all got to say? Let's see. Okay. I thought maybe it was a lag time to see, if y'all respond. Bye, Ashley. Put Ashley with somebody else, but not Andre. Sharon, of all ladies, are articulate singers. Ashley should go out of town. That's what I was asking you, Keish. Can you hear
What's
me?
that? I hear you.
Should they? Somebody was asking, should Ashley be recasted, or should they just put her with somebody else?
I don't think she needs to be recasted. I think the actress is. I think she's a good actress.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see the chemistry with Derek, and I don't see it with Andre either.
Who on the
Like,
show would
even-
you see it with?
So who's left?
That's a good question, right?
Maybe she just doesn't need to be with a man. I don't know. Maybe she just needs to be a friend, and that's it. Kind of like how I feel like how Shanice is,
Okay.
where she pops up in scenes here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to me, Shanice and Andre, I think, have pretty good chemistry. And Doug's friend, the one that works for Joey.
Mm-hmm.
So she's the one that stands out in scenes at the hospital, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
I think she should have been Naomi's BFF.
Gotcha.
Because she honestly doesn't even have, like, friend chemistry. So maybe she does need to be recast. I don't know. She doesn't even have friend chemistry with Naomi.
Nope.
In my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I mean, I feel bad saying that, but, yeah. Mm-hmm.
What'd you say? Mm-hmm.
And then it's just like the way that she carried on with when her and Derek were living together, how she made a big deal about, which, yes, stupid for Derek to use a Brillo pad to clean the refrigerator door, but the way that she just snapped at him when he was literally just trying to do something nice because she was complaining about him throwing stuff all over the place. Like, the way she handled that whole situation, I hated that. And yesterday, when she asked him to go to the movies, and he was like, "Oh, I already made plans, but I mean, we can do it tomorrow." And then her mood completely changed, as if he just wrecked her whole world because he already had plans.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. 'Cause it's just weird. I don't know if it's the writing or the character or the actress or actor or whatever. I just don't. Those scenes between those two are just real awkward to me.
I think in the beginning, I think they were fine. For me, I think it was when Ashley started acting funny towards Derek. I think it was after she realized Andre had feelings for her. To me, I feel like her attitude towards Derek changed a little bit.
Okay.
Because you see her, like, when Andre is at the hospital, and, maybe he's, like, walking away or getting ready to leave, and she'll kind of, like, look back at him or whatever while he's getting on the elevator. Or she gives these little looks sometimes. And it's like, girl, either you want to be with Derek or you don't want to be with Derek.
Right.
And you want to try it out with Andre. Like, figure it out, make up your mind, and let's move on with this.
It's interesting. Cynthia Chain says, why propose when they can't even live together?
Yeah, I didn't quite understand that either. And I missed some of the scene with Naomi because of
the interruption.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know what all she said to him, because of when I came back in on, she was basically like, is there anything else I can say, or can I get you to change your mind? Or I forget exactly what it was she said to him, but was she trying to get him to rethink proposing?
Girl, I have no idea. Because, I mean,
it
left first.
You got interrupted too.
I did too. And when it came back, he started proposing. He showed the ring. And then at the end, as a cliffhanger, they left us with no answer from her.
Yet.
Yeah. So it was a lot of missing parts out of today. I mean, obviously, we saw Haley jump in the bed with Bill to show pictures of her. Girl, I'm like, what? Girl, what you think? What you finna say, Keish?
I was more annoyed with Danny.
Oh, walking in?
Yes, I'm so like okay. The first day that when he was rushed to the emergency room, I get it. Like that was your ex-husband. You guys were married for 30 years or whatever. You have kids. Understandable that you want to go to the hospital, be there for your daughters, and make sure he's okay because she still cares about him. Why the hell are you going back there every day after? The man has a wife.
Exactly.
There's nothing for you to do. There's no reason for you to be there. And then the way that she walked into his room today and turned the light on, like, oh, you're in here asleep already, and turns his light on. It's like, what are you doing?
Exactly.
It's almost like she's so desperate to have some kind of relationship or still have some kind of say in his life. She makes herself look stupid.
I agree. But the thing is, when she cut the light on, she didn't excuse herself. She came right on in and saying, I hope y'all wasn't doing the do. And it's like, girl, get out. I mean.
Exactly. I can't. Haley gets on my nerves, but had Haley told her to get the hell out of his room, I wouldn't have been mad.
Right.
Because that's what I would have said.
I agree. I'm sitting up there like, don't you think you ought to turn around and walk out the door?
Right. Just.
But the thing is, Bill don't help, because when she turned around and said, well, I'm going to leave. I was going to tell you about Chelsea. Then he turns around, oh, don't leave, let me know. And of course, she went through that whole thing about Chelsea moving in.
Yeah, so part of it is Bill's fault too, for sure.
Yeah, because at the same time, there's still some sort of a connection there. I have a feeling that this is a soap opera. He's going to double back, and she's going to let him.
Well, that's what I don't want. Like, I want her to be done with him and to move on. Like, I cannot stand the fact that they basically just had her doing all the shenanigans that she did the first, 2.5 months. Then it was like she chilled out on Bill and Haley. You didn't see her jumping in their face about anything. And then the pregnancy announcement happened, and she's back to walking into their house telling Haley she's not pregnant and she's faking it. And it's like, why are you doing this?
Right.
Because even if she is faking it, it's going to come out one way or another. And it's Bill's problem to deal with. What are you doing? Like, what are you going to do?
Right.
So, I mean, clearly she still wants the man back because she's looking for any reason for Bill and Haley to break up, which is why she started the whole that's a fake pregnancy narrative. And now she's in his face every day in the hospital, like she's still his wife, there to take care of him.
Right.
I hate it.
What do you make of that guy that was whispering in Smitty's ear?
I don't know. I mean, obviously he probably knows what Smitty did or what the secret is. I just don't know, what kind of secret and how demented and dark this thing might be.
Right. You think he unalived somebody?
That was my initial thought, was maybe he accidentally unalived somebody. But can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. But I don't know. My first thought when that guy started whispering in his ear was like, wait a minute, did he go through something to where maybe he was hypnotized and there's certain trigger words that somebody can use to get him to do something? I watch a lot of superhero, Marvel, this is very Captain America and the Winter Soldier kind of thing. That was the first thing I thought of when that happened. But just according to the preview next week, that's not what it was, because he, gets up and kind of gets mad at the guy.
Right. Exactly.
So, I don't know. Maybe this guy knows what he did and he's trying to make sure Martin keeps his mouth shut.
Yeah, that's what I think. He knows something. That guy been snooping around all of the Duprees, actually. Because remember,
Yeah.
he was at the restaurant, he was watching some of the other family members. So it's something about this guy
Yeah.
he got against that family.
Yeah. You
Um,
know what I didn't like though about that is, I mean, Martin clearly is struggling. He went to his mom for help without, divulging any details about anything. And Vernon is like, you can't talk to anybody about this. Like, you can't go to a therapist. You can't do this. You have to keep this to yourself. And he's clearly struggling with it. So I feel bad for Martin because of that, because it's basically something that he can't get professional help for. He can't talk to anybody about, because whatever this is going to, blow their family's lives up or whatever. And it was almost like he's becoming desperate for help because he went to his mom.
right.
But
Yeah.
and I
Well,
felt
whatever
bad
it
for him.
is, it seems like Vernon and Anita knows, but he don't know. It's like, what is it that
Yeah.
yeah, what did he do that they know about that, he don't know. So I don't know. That part I kind of want some man. That storyline has been going on since day one.
Yep.
So, all right. We also had Tomas being put on notice by Danny dealing with Kat.
Yeah.
We were saying that in the chat earlier, like, yeah, he playing two in the middle when it comes to, even though we did see recently that Eva tried to kiss him and he pushed back, and
Yeah.
and he told her how much he wants to be involved with Kat. Danny is like, yeah, that girl's like a daughter to me. Don't play with her.
Yeah.
Or
I
else,
like that scene. That was cute.
yeah, but the problem is Bill wants him to get information from Kat. Remember?
Yep.
So
Because of that, it makes me wonder if he said what he said to Eva simply because of that, because he wants to stay close to Kat so he can carry out Bill's orders.
right. Yeah, this is gonna be a mess if in fact Tomas, do what Bill wants him to do.
Yeah.
You're gonna break that girl's heart. That's what's gonna happen.
I want her away from him anyway.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I can't wait for it to come out.
Yeah, me too. The other thing is, we saw Laura asking for help from Eva. Now that was kind of surprising.
Yeah.
And the fact that Nicole actually is cool with that.
Right.
What do you think?
I mean, it's another person on screen that is basically there to, I guess, redeem Eva.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and this is where it doesn't make sense to me. She's been Nicole's assistant for years, according to Nicole.
Mm-hmm.
And we hear Nicole say, like, you're the best, best assistant I've ever had. You're the right fit for this job. You've done so great for me over the years. I missed you. I couldn't wait for you to come back. So she's been like this top-notch A1 assistant to her. And then all of a sudden, she's having a hard time doing her job because of some program that Eva installed that she had been using.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where she has to ask Eva for help.
Right.
None of that made sense to me.
Yeah.
So you couldn't go back to using whatever it was that
worked for you, right?
Eva, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Eva had only been there for what's it been?
Couple
3 months?
with 3 months, yeah.
So that was clearly
that didn't make sense to you.
Yeah, a little ploy to get Eva back into Nicole's orbit.
Right.
In one way or another.
Bree said Eva is getting the Claire redemption to her.
Yep, she sure is.
Yeah.
Instant.
Mm-hmm.
Very instant. From day one, with Ted from day one.
She's getting the redemption to her that Luna wants.
Yeah, yeah.
Because, I mean, Kat is getting a chance to get to know her father. Her father is actually involved. He might be separated from Nicole, but he's definitely trying to be active in her life as an adult, whereas Luna is like as an outsider.
Yeah, but I mean, Luna's crimes were vastly different from anything that Eva did.
That is true. That is
So
true.
it's a little more understandable. It's more understandable that Luna is getting this treatment versus what Eva is getting.
Right.
Now, I do think Ted is. I think he is leaning too heavily on the side of coddle Eva, is balancing trying to get his wife back and get back in the good graces of Kat, because he's basically just become all about Eva from that night, the night that Eva came to him and said she had nowhere to go. It's just been on and popping with getting her that hotel room, got her a job, now giving her Kat's job, talking about how making little jokes,
right?
Which I don't like that at all, because I noticed that even, and this was with the old team, when they had went to that restaurant to eat, and he was like, "I'm back to the scene of the crime," and it's like, sir, this just happened yesterday, and you already making jokes about the fact that you were just outed for not only cheating on your wife, but producing a child from it.
Right.
So yeah, Ted is like, he's doing way too much. And I'm not saying that he can't explore that relationship with Eva and that he's wrong for that, but it's the way he's going about it. It's like he's being very dismissive of Kat's feelings, who has every right to feel the way she does about Eva, because she clocked her ass from day one when she saw her snooping through her mom's files. But he's being very dismissive of how she feels and the distrust that she has with Eva, and more concerned about making sure Eva is okay.
Right.
Who is on the on the other side of this with her mom, still scheming in a way, because she's hiding the fact that she knows her mom ran Laura off the road.
Exactly. And that's what Hazel McCoy is saying. I don't see why Eva is constantly protecting Leslie.
I don't either, because I firmly believe that Leslie would pin that on Eva if it came down to it.
Oh, of course. She would throw her daughter under the bus as far as she could if it was the opportunity.
Yeah, and the way that this is why Eva has become an insufferable character. The way that she walked up in Kat's face today, telling her to hang up the phone, and then copping the attitude with her because she thinks that she's the one that took the helmet from her room and put it back in her mom's house. And it's like, girl, your mom is guilty. What are you mad at Kat for? I mean, you're mad because now your mom's crime might be exposed, which, I mean, we all know this is probably going to backfire because of the way Kat handled this and that she's involved in the first place. But the nerve of her to look at Kat and say, you're no better than me, when you were the one hiding evidence of someone almost being killed. Kat is trying to get justice for Laura, for her friend. So I have never felt like, first of all, she hasn't paid any consequences, because like we said, from day one, Ted was basically there to scoop her up and give her everything that she wanted. But not only has she not paid any consequences, she's walking around there as if Kat owes her something.
Right.
Like Kat owes her an apology or owes her to try to be friends with her.
You talking about that part where, especially when she told her to get off the phone?
Yeah.
Was
that today or yesterday?
I think that was yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah. Like, girl, if you don't get out of my face. And I wish Kat would have just walked past her like she didn't exist, instead of engaging with her and having a conversation.
Now, Bree said, Leslie said, no matter what Jacob does, her hands are clean. She's already setting up her daughter as an ace in the hole.
Yep, she sure is. She sure is. And you know what? I wouldn't feel sorry for either.
Yeah. Now, do you think that whole thing with using Mona to get her DNA might work?
I think what's going to happen is, yes, they're going to find out that DNA does belong to Leslie. But I think what's going to happen, because of the way Kat has gone about getting all this evidence and doing everything that she's done, I think something is going to happen to where that everything is going to get thrown out because it wasn't collected properly. And because Kat, has been sticking her nose in it. And I know that she's trying to help her friend. And, she's trying to also stick it to Eva. But she needs to let Jacob do his, I don't know.
Do his job?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope she don't mess this up.
I think she is, because I don't think Leslie's going to jail. She's a primary character.
Right.
So I think they're using Kat as a way to end up getting this whole case thrown out.
Wow. And then it's over.
Yep.
And she'll just be around town annoying people.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, let's see. And then the other thing, let's see. We got this new thing that's going on with Chelsea and the doctor.
Yeah.
So she seems pretty excited about that. And then we got a preview next week of her coming over to the house and stuff like that. So
yeah.
And
Doctor is gorgeous.
I'm wondering with this Articulates thing, is something bad gonna go down in Chicago?
I don't know, but I still don't trust Sharon. All that venom she was spitting when she was talking to Tracy at the restaurant about Anita. That is, she ain't do no 180 like that.
No.
I think she did what she needed to do to get Anita to agree to the tour. But she probably got some stuff up her sleeve.
I agree too. I mean, she looked like she calmed down, but I just think, why didn't they just do it? And I mean, it is the Dupree's hometown, but why did they have to go all the way back to Chicago? I don't know. That was just weird to me, but I have a feeling something ain't gonna go the way that Anita expects.
Yeah. I wonder if we'll see this Dante person.
Yeah, that would be interesting. And then also we had Danny almost get caught by her father, and then Andre came running up in that apartment with Kat and Chelsea.
Yeah, talking about Danny, where you at, girl? I was cracking up.
That was funny, girl.
He tried to get out of it, but they immediately clocked it.
Right. And so now, according to the promo, it looks like he's going to tell Danny, like, ooh, I think your daughter might know about us. Yeah. So, I don't know.
I want everybody to find out, because I want them to... I mean, I know Danny said that she's not ready for anything serious, but I think if they had Andre move on,
she won't like it.
I think she would. Yeah, I think she would have a problem with it. Not that she would vocalize that you can't do this, or that she would have a problem, but you would see it in like her demeanor. When
right.
She would maybe see him with another person. Like if him and Ashley end up getting together.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I don't know. It was pretty good to me. It was so many moving parts this week on BTG compared to Y&R and Bold.
Yes. So this is what I was saying in our group chat earlier. One of the things that I love about Beyond the Gates is how it's the small details that we always complain about with Y&R and Bold is what Beyond the Gates pays attention to.
Yes, they
do. They don't do the thing where people walk through a door uninvited. At least not in the way that it's done on Y&R and Bold. Like, for instance, when Leslie went to Vernon and Anita's house, she didn't just walk in the house. She rang the doorbell. And Anita decided to let her in because she wanted to hear what Leslie had to say. And, they had their little back and forth.
Right.
Or the little thing where Kat went to Ted's hotel room and he wasn't there, so she was going to leave him a note. And she was like, what am I doing? Why don't I'm just going to send him a text.
Right.
Like, those little things. And it's like, if that had been Bold, she would have continued to write this note instead of just sending a text message. So, like, the unlocked door with, like, Steffi and Finn right now. Like, this girl has walked in their house multiple times and they still ain't locked the door. They haven't called the police. They ain't talked about a restraining order. None of that. And I feel like on Beyond the Gates, that wouldn't happen.
Right. Right. I
They
agree
would
with you.
find another way to have the interaction that they want. They would just make a little more sense, like having Luna break into the house because all of their doors are locked, or having Luna drop by, Finn's office at the hospital, or go to Forrester Creations to confront Stephanie.
Right.
Something where it would be a lot easier for her to get into, rather than just easily walking through the front door.
Exactly. I agree. I just hope, BTG keep it up.
Me too.
And they're doing a good job. They got their second season. Look like Bold and Y&R got their 3 years, and they was like, okay, we're good. Let's just get back to slacking. I'm like,
Yeah, we'll just keep doing this silly, senseless, nonsensical
yeah,
stuff.
we got our contract, so oh well.
Right.
It's just crazy. All right, let's get into the last segment. Flip the script. Who's taking a seat? Star, Pickle, and the Simple Olympics. So, who you got for Y&R for flipping the script?
I don't even know if I can give a proper flip on Y&R because I have paid attention.
Oh Lord.
Let's see. Okay, so the scene with Lily and
Damien?
Damien, I would have not had Damien get this girl a kid because she ain't expressed an ounce of interest in him
Right.
since he's been to town. Like, we didn't need all that.
I agree. If I had to flip, I would have had Holden drop some gems on Nate about what Audra been up to. I can guarantee you if this was on Beyond the Gates, he would have said something to somebody. They do the little things, like you said before, that the other soaps overlook. Missed opportunities is what we normally call it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just wish that they would Holden would have said, oh, your girl is going over to Nice to entrap Kyle on Victor's orders. I would have loved that. Oh, look at Bree said Nate buy a ticket to Nice and surprise Audra.
Ooh.
That's a good one, Bree.
Yeah, that is a good one.
That's a good one. Okay, what you flipping on Bold?
Stephanie and Finn locking the door.
Locking the door?
Locking the damn door.
I agree. Right. That girl walks in there each and every time and they does nothing. They just sit in there. Because she just walking in. Everybody, that's the thing they don't do on Bold. I've been saying that for years. Nobody locked doors on this show.
Nope.
I think the only person that locked...
Convenient.
Right.
Only when it's to push some type of a plot is when a door is locked. Mm-hmm. Any other time, people just walk it through.
The only person that locked the door was Luna.
They don't have doors. Apparently don't have doorbell.
Girl, listen. When Poppy...
Nobody seems to know how to text.
Mm-hmm. When Poppy came by and when Remy came by Luna's place, they locked. Her door is locked. Mm-hmm. She know how to lock doors, but don't nobody else know how to.
Well, you see how she mentioned that today, too.
Mm-hmm.
Because she used that as they're not scared of me because their door was unlocked.
Right.
She's basically using every little thing she can to rationalize that Finn really doesn't want her to go away. He leaves the door unlocked for her.
Right. Well, I mean, I got to give it to her because one of the things she said was how Finn didn't tell her to leave. He told her to get out of sight.
He did. And what I took that as, he didn't want Hayes to see her and didn't want Hayes to know who she was. And if she would have tried to run out of the door when Hayes was coming out of the room, Hayes would have saw her. So the only thing that he could do, or the best thing that he could do to keep her out of Hayes' sight, was to push her in the kitchen because that was the fastest place she could go
Girl, that
to
little
where he
boy,
wouldn't see her.
that little boy, Finn could have took that boy back in the room and told her, if you don't get out of here, and he could have distracted that little boy to get her out of there.
Again, more things that they do to push a plot.
Exactly. All right,
because really, he should have physically removed her ass when she first walked in the door instead of standing there talking to her.
That is true.
Or when she walked in the door on Steffi, and Steffi was getting ready to call the police, and for whatever reason she didn't. Just because Luna said, I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Right.
That was literally the only reason why she didn't call. It doesn't make any sense.
It sure doesn't. Because she's trespassing. That could send her back.
Exactly. And just see little stupid things that Bold could address that would make their story at least a little bit better.
Yep. Monique said her YNR flip would be Billy and Jack finally beating Victor. We'll see if that can go down next week. What are you flipping on Beyond the Gates?
You know what I would, not just this week, but even in the previous weeks, is the lack of urgency that Ted seems to have with getting his wife back. We've seen him do one gesture, which was sending her those flowers and that note. We ain't seen nothing else since. He's been solely focused on taking care of Eva.
That is true.
So that's what I would flip. And his friend getting in his face about
Carlton.
You got your wife back yet? Yeah. I love that he did that because everything Carlton said was true.
Yep. But I mean, it's up to Nicole though. But he's not even. Ted isn't even trying though. Yeah, that's true.
He sent her flowers and that's it. Ted needs to be at that woman's house every day.
Yep.
Sending her something every day, making sure that she knows that he is going to do whatever he can to get her back until Nicole says, I don't want you, I want a divorce.
Right.
And then I would say, maybe you need to back off. But until then, he should be kissing her feet, scheduling regular flower deliveries, trying his best to wine and dine her, anything he can. And even the little things, like when they were at, not Orpheus Jeans, but the other place that they go to, the bar, and goes in and stands there. And Ted's goofy ass stands there and lets her talk. How about you walk away with Nicole?
Right. I got you.
That's the kind of stuff he does where it's just, you're not trying hard enough, dude.
I just wish that Danny, my flip would be for them to figure out what they're going to do. He's choosing to stay in limbo with Danny in this whole situationship. I just wish that they would figure out what they're going to do. Because they getting caught left and right. She almost got caught by her father, and then now he has to explain that he walked in on her daughter and her niece looking for her. And they know what's going on.
Yeah.
So, all right, who's taking seats on YNR?
I'm going to give Phyllis the seat just because she's a mom.
You've been talking about Phyllis all day. Who am I giving the seat to?
Oh, and Abby.
And Abby, okay.
Yes.
I'm going to give a seat to Audra and Victor. They getting on my nerves. And even Jack for putting his son in this trap. I was so happy when I heard Kyle said, no, I'm going to stay home. And that happiness was fleeting when Jack said, no, you should go. I'm like, oh. And I was actually agreeing with Diane. Diane was like, are you sure it's a good idea to put our son in this trap?
They're idiots.
Yeah. Jack. Anyway. Who's taking a seat on Bowl?
I'm gonna give Poppy a seat because I did not like when she was at Lee's office and she was like, our daughter needs you. Our daughter needs your help, or our daughter, whatever it was she was saying. And the way that she was trying to get Finn, I felt like she was trying to get Finn to give Luna a chance. But then when she went to Luna's house and Luna asked her, do you, are you here because you want to try to mend our relationship?
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't trying to hear it. So you want Finn to give her the benefit of the doubt that you aren't even willing to give.
Right.
And you raise her. Like, that's your daughter that you've raised from birth.
Mm-hmm.
But you expect him to have some kind of sympathy for her. And she, I mean, I won't say all she did was frame you for murder. Like, that's a huge deal. She was going to be in jail for the rest of her life. But she tried to take out Finn's wife, and you, for whatever reason, thought that he should have the sympathy that you don't have for her.
Right.
So yeah, she can have a little seat. Also, I think Lee should have popped her in the mouth when she walked in and we were talking about our daughter.
Yeah. Bree said put Danny and Christine back in an airplane seat. And TA say Victor, Phyllis, Audra, and Lily. And Bree also said the Foresters and Liberty Bibberty for their foolishness. Okay, me putting in a seat on Bold. I'm gonna put Steffi and Finn in a seat because y'all ain't locking no doors. Y'all claiming everybody's scared of this girl, but you ain't doing nothing to keep her from walking in your house. So
well, Steffi did say she's not scared of her.
Yeah, but do you want her walking in your house?
No. Yes, they do need to lock the door.
They need to lock the door. BTG seats.
Ted, Eva, and Danny.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna give Eva a seat too because I didn't like how she was demanding Kat get off the phone and jumping in her face. And I'm like, girl, you do realize that you're the villain in the story right now.
I don't think she does. She's got that poor me. I didn't have what she had growing up, and I think that she truly thinks that she is a victim here. Kat is a mean girl.
Yeah, well, her daddy is giving her entitlement. That's why.
Yep, he sure is.
All right. Star of the week. YNR.
No, I don't have one.
She said, I don't have one. I don't have nothing. Girl, you so funny. I mean, it's hard because it was just so, I gotta say it was dull to me.
Yeah.
It was dull. Everybody was saying and repeating the same things about Aristotle Dumas. Might as well give Aristotle Dumas the freaking star of the week because, I mean,
right.
His name popped up at least 100 times this week.
We'll give Tessa's guitar star of the week.
You stupid. Okay. And by the way, Bree said Eva and Kat should take a seat. They both need to chill out. Okay, Bree. What is the star of the week on Bold? I'm gonna give it to Lisa Yamada just because she's an excellent actress.
Yeah, I'll give that to her too.
I mean, the girl is rocking out in this villain era, and I think she's done it before in other movies and stuff. I don't know what this new show is about. Is it something similar?
It's basically a prequel to the movie Legally Blonde. So it's supposed to be Elle when she's in like high school or something like that. Okay,
gotcha. All right, cool. And then star of the week on BTG.
I'm gonna give it to the actress that plays Eva. Amber. I can't remember her last name, but her first name is Amber, I believe is how you pronounce it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give it to her, and I'm gonna also give it to the actress that plays Kat because she's been killing it the last couple weeks too.
Yeah, both of them.
Like they are very good in scenes together. They're good enemies.
They're definitely good enemies. So I agree with you on that. Bree said Bold gets no star. It's a 2-week rinse and repeat script. All right, pickle of the week on Y&R.
The dragging out of this
Yep.
Dumas character.
I so agree with that. They are dragging this out. And I don't know if you guys were here at the beginning of the live, but according to the spoilers, Aristotle Dumas is not going to reveal himself until June 20th, which is next Friday. So, even though they threw out the word June 13th, or the date June 13th, yeah, he's not going to reveal himself till next week. Next Friday to be, according to the spoilers. So, yeah, it sucks. Pickle of the week for Bold. Them not locking the door.
Yeah, the unlocked door.
Yeah, I mean, how many times a person just got it, whether you scared of them or not, how many times people gonna walk up in your house?
Right.
I mean,
and
it's crazy.
They didn't even reference anything about her just walking in the front door until today.
Right. They just
And I think
they lead it, and she just walk in like she owns the place because you don't lock the door.
Yep.
Pickle on BTG.
This instant redemption that Eva is getting.
You don't like that, huh?
I don't, because it's not just Ted. Like, even Nicole.
Mm-hmm.
Laura asking her for help and, trying to mend the relationship between Nicole and Eva. And it's like, you don't even know Eva.
Mm-hmm.
All you know of her is that her mom tried to run you off the road.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are you so concerned about trying to mend this relationship with Nicole?
Exactly.
And Nicole acting as if, like, I know that, she really liked Eva when she was working for her, but girl, you've known her for 3 months.
Exactly.
Why are you walking around here acting like you just lost your best friend?
Exactly. I agree.
And then even, with Chelsea and Martin telling Kat that she just needs to, maybe she should just give Eva a chance. And it's like, does no one understand what Eva did? And that little last minute trying to, stop Leslie from blowing that secret out, or saying that secret in their party. It's like Eva was the one that orchestrated the party in the first place. She talked them into doing it.
That is true.
And it's like, everybody's like, oh, her mom's crazy. It's not her fault. She knew what she was doing.
Yep.
So, yeah, this whole instant redemption that Eva is getting is for the birds. And they're trying to make Kat look like, the jerk in the situation.
Right. My pickle of the week but goes to Ashley and Derek. That whole coupling is just... there's just no chemistry there. I'm like, either figure out what you're going to do with these two or move them along to somebody else or whatever, because those two, they ain't working. It ain't working.
I know this probably isn't a popular opinion, but I didn't mind seeing Derek and Naomi in that scene together today.
I bet you didn't. Who knows? Maybe that was a chem test.
Yeah, I'm sure if it was, though, it would be a long way off, because right now, Jacob and Naomi aren't having any issues.
Well, here's the interesting thing. So, Bree, I know we were thinking about Simp Olympics earlier, but she got a whole list in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
So, she got bronze belonged to Kyle. Silver belongs to Damien. Gold belongs to Danny. And platinum goes to Liberty Bibberty.
What is he a sit for?
I don't know. Bree, what is he as... Bree, what is Finn a simp for?
And what did Danny do?
She keep trying to get up on the bill, showing up over at the place and all that type of stuff.
Oh, I'm thinking, I don't know why my mind went to Y&R Danny.
Oh, no. Danny on BTG. Yeah, the way she walked up in that room, and he, like you said, he got a wife. What do you mean? What are you doing? Yeah, so let's see, Kyle. I mean, I guess he went through that whole thing to try to prove something to Victor.
Yeah, I
Um.
don't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't find anything that Finn is doing being a sin because it's about his wife and
Mm-hmm.
protecting her
Gotcha.
and his family.
Well, I also think Bree mentioned earlier that she think Finn got mixed feelings. So I guess where she's trying to call him a simp is that he's doing all of this rejection only because Steffi wants him to, not because that's what he really wants to do. I'm
I
thinking that's
disagree with that.
probably why she's saying it, because she thinks that he got mixed feelings.
If you look at um how he's acted in this situation versus how he did Sheila,
Mm-hmm.
it's been very different.
Mm-hmm.
When they do, like with Sheila, they would do those little close-ups of his face, and he would have this concerned or worried or like sad look when it came to him talking about never, allowing Sheila around him.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't do that with Luna. We've never seen him do that with Luna.
That's true.
And he's told her with his full chest from the beginning, you will not be a part of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't seen. I know we all see things differently. I haven't seen the mixed feelings with Luna when it comes to Finn.
Okay, so this is what Bree said. Bree said he needs to ask, because he needs to ask Steffi if he can be a man and actually protect his family. He's been a simp. Carter took the platinum medal for the past several months now. Belinda Liberty Bibberty. Let me answer this question right quick. Belinda Hill, Liberty Bibberty is Finn. So Tanner Noveland also do commercials for Liberty Mutual. And so when he first started doing those commercials about a year or so ago, maybe 2 years ago, he was the one that was saying Liberty Bibberty. And everybody remembered him for that. And so that's why, yeah, exactly, Belinda, exactly. Now, what were you about to say, Keish?
I was asking you to repeat something you said because the phone was
Which
breaking up
part?
while you were talking. I don't remember now.
I don't remember now. Okay.
Oh, when you were explaining what Bree was saying about the.
Oh, Bree said that she called him a simp because he needs to ask Steffi if he can be a man and actually protect his family. That's what she said.
Because he needs to ask her.
That's what she said. So I don't know. Maybe drop her a message to ask her to explain what
I don't
she.
understand that.
She don't understand, Bree. So let her try to send Keisha a message in the group chat to help her understand where you coming from. All right, girl. It was a good one. I'm glad you was able to pop on this afternoon. How far you got to go? You didn't get rid of about 2 hours.
Yep, I got 2.5 hours left.
Oh, girl, please, you can do that, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm good.
You good? Is this business or you going to a private trip?
Yeah, I'm going to visit my dad for Father's Day.
Oh, that's right, Father's Day. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Look,
Well,
I didn't realize it was Father's Day until Wednesday.
Oh my goodness.
Next weekend.
Oh, well, I'm glad you're going to spend some time with your dad. Yeah, it is Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the daddies in the chat, or the husbands in the chat, or whoever's a dad. Happy Father's Day to you all. So, I'm glad you enjoyed the live, TA. I'm glad I got some stuff going on this evening and the rest of the weekend, and so I said I wanted to go ahead and still get your live going early. And when Keish told me that, she would be available, I'm like, okay, cool. Let's just go live and had a conversation. Anybody that missed it, because this was an early day chat, you guys can replay it because it will be on YouTube, of course. So, all right, you guys, we're going to end it right here. Make sure that you stay tuned for the spoilers. The spoiler videos on the YNR Unfiltered channel, the Shade and the Beautiful channel, and this channel for the Bold and the Beautiful. And until next time, we will see you guys later. Bye, Soapies.
Have a good weekend. Happy Father's Day, everybody.
Yep. Happy Father's Day. Bye, guys.